just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood.
Who is Jim Nestor?
I'm a doer, I'm at home, cut their own grass and, lay my own brick and have fires and stuff like that. So, but I've always been very active, active lifestyle. So try to get our kids to always be doing things, around the house besides, doing chores and things like that, have responsibility. So I'm the type of person that, likes a challenge and, will be physical doing that challenge.
Right. And who is Coach Jim Nestor?
I'm a person that has high expectations, knowing that, I'm a doer. I expect my players to be doing those same things, doing the things that are going to make them better, not do it because they want me to, do it for me, but for them to realize all these little things that I'm doing, even the coach is asking that, it's actually making me better. I want to do wall ball. I want to go and do that extra running because I know I'll be reaping that reward, because that's the way I see it when I'm working out and everything. So it's kind of that whole mind philosophy of, if you're doing things right, you might not see results right away. In the long run, just like with your diet, nutrition, it's gonna pay off in the long run.
How do you push yourself to be the best coach you can be possible?
That's intrinsic. It's just something that, again, one, you hate to lose. So you're always preparing, breaking out film and, studying the opponents as much as possible, as watching your own game film to see where, you might have not did so well or where you can keep on improving. But, it's just one of those things that, I'm always looking and have those high expectations, and always feel that we can always be doing better.
Right. How do you push your players to their best abilities? What are some of the things you do to help them perform well?
We try to talk to them, try to see them to take their mental game to that next level. I mean, physically, we can only do so much, and the skill-wise, a lot of players get better off the field and away from me. Again, they're doing those things they should be doing the wall ball, and like I said, the conditioning on their own more. So I'm trying to get them to see and read the game and increase the lacrosse IQ. So we're making better decisions on the field, and hopefully their skills that they've been practicing on their own can take over, so we can execute the great pass or the great finish. But knowing that the mind they saw, that's not a good situation to go into, or maybe I shouldn't feed it, or if I studied a little bit of film, my coach talked about, our scouting report, they know that 9's a big driver, that we should send them doubles early. So I want them to become smarter.
So you played men's lacrosse, right?
Correct.
So what made you want to be a women's coach instead of a male?
Well, that's a long story. Even when I was here, I coached a women's club soccer team. It was, not even a varsity sport. So I got into just coaching females that way because I was a phys ed major. I was kind of expecting to go out and be in a phys ed, in high school. But once I got that taste of it, and then I wrestled here also. So then I was coaching on the wrestling side also. So I was like, I like this college level, thing. So when I went up to Frostburg to get my master's, I was just in their phys ed department. And I happened to be the women's lacrosse coach's assistant for her PE 106 class, and she didn't have an assistant at the time. So it was just lucky that she asked me, she goes, "You play at Salisbury, right?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, do you want to be my assistant?" I was like, "Sure." Wow. So it kind of just fell into place from that way. And then right out of grad school, I applied for a position, which was a women's position, and was able to get it. And because I had soccer experience and lacrosse, which again back then even more so was very unusual. It was usually field hockey lacrosse. Yeah. So I was given the opportunity at Colby Sawyer, and that's kind of there. Just went that direction.
How was that experience over there, coaching?
At
you said
Colby Sawyer. Yeah. Small little school. I loved it. I mean, again, outdoor person. I had a mountain 5 minutes away that I was able to go up and down. Another ski mountain. We would drive to the top and ski right down right off the bat. I loved it. I mean, it's a very small school, tough to recruit to, being in a really small area. But it was a great first coaching experience. I mean, it really was.
Now, since you coached both soccer and lacrosse, and do you think in any way those sports, like you helped that, like some aspects from the soccer game helped you with your lacrosse coaching, or like your lacrosse coaching helps you with your soccer coaching as well?
Oh, it always does. Again, you just learn each season, you're learning something new and how to approach maybe things a little bit different or in a better way. So, but the sports itself, yeah, there's a little trade-off, in taking aspects of one sport and into another. But
you haven't lost a conference game since 2002. That I've honestly never seen that before. That's amazing. Congratulations with that.
Yeah.
So, where do you think that just came from? Just
Well, I think again we're always preparing. We don't take any opponent lightly, whether they're 500 or like we're going against Mary Wash tomorrow and they're 9-1, and expecting that to be a great game. So, again, the big thing is conference, interconference, out of conference. We take each game as if we got to make sure we're coming out with our A game.
Reaching the national championship stage, a lot of people don't know what that feels like. As a coach, as a player, anybody being a part of that. How would you say your experiences have been since your first national championship? How was that?
Yeah, you learn that to really enjoy each experience, because you never know if you're going to be back, and you can't always assume you're going to be back. So more over those years, just really sitting back and enjoying it more, trying to have the players, again, if they're enjoying it, they're playing a little bit more relaxed. And but again, we go in fully prepared. We have a ton of film broken down. We got great scouting reports. If we get by a semifinal, of course, we're just focusing on that game, not looking ahead. Of course, we have a little bit of report on that next team, but our parents have done a great job helping us with making that transition going into that Final Four smoother and more relaxed, and taking care of meals and things like that. So our families have done a great job supporting us along the way, and again, making everything a little bit more relaxed atmosphere.
How is it after winning the national title and looking to definitely defend your title? How much of a change is that in the season?
Well, again, the expectation is always high, and of course you see who you graduate to say, okay, what do we have coming back experience-wise? So when you're looking at that, again, you don't want to look past anything. Again, we got to keep telling them we got to keep continuing getting better. We want to make sure that that was last year. This year, a new team, new identity. Same goal, but it might not be the same way we got there. Maybe taking a different route. When you have injuries that maybe didn't have the year before, then you're flushed before started out. Again, you're always preparing the youth, the younger players. So if there is opportunities, injury-wise, or again maybe a blowout game, they're able to step in and still know how things run.
You've had a lot of players in the past that you've coached with all your teams here at Salisbury. Which team would you say was the most outstanding team to coach and have that you can remember?
They've all been great. If you look at the undefeated team in 2013, again, you're talking 2 first-team All-American low attackers, strong midfield, strong defense, an incredible goalie, ultimately 3-time goalie of the year. I think overall balance-wise, that team was probably the most balanced after the fact. But you look at our 205 team that had 1 loss going to the championship game, and 2009 I thought we had a really great team, again losing overtime in the national championship game. So it's very hard, but the 213 being undefeated, and how strong that offensive unit was, as well as our defense. Our defense was a great unit there also, and we always say defense wins championships, because those years that we did lose, and we had powerful offenses, but the opposing team's defenses would step up and shut our offense down.
When did you learn to love this game, love to play this game, and coach this game?
Kind of coming back, as I said, even really young. Sports have always been very active. Involved in sports all the way through as a little kid. So, going out and doing things, and like I said, doing wall ball, going out doing ground balls in my backyard. It was fun. It wasn't considered work, and this job to me isn't work. Going here, being here for 20 hours and not even realize it, and love what you're doing. Even through high school, I admired my coaches, and I figured this is what I want to do. And then getting to the college level, and continuing on with playing throughout college, and then being on the coaching staffs. It's just, again, was something that I knew from yay high, meaning high school. This is the career path I wanted to follow.
So you definitely credit your coaches for mentoring you to want to be a coach for.
Yes.
That. So how do you prepare for each game every week in practice?
Well, again, we talked about intensity. We've really been harping lately on, we're only as good as players we're practicing against day in and day out. That's the biggest thing. If we're smoking our B team, let's say, our offense isn't getting any better.
Yeah.
So we're really making sure that everyone from top to bottom is producing and making the other player they're competing against better. So we're better on game day. We're more prepared on game day. But we talked to them about obviously that with intensity, and then again, harping on our what our opponent might be doing, what their strengths might be, and how we need to, be aware, mentally acknowledge again, if this happens, we need to do this, because again, anything can happen again. Anyone can change up their game plan, but to be smart enough to understand, someone's strengths and their tendencies. Someone's always going to go back to their tendencies. A non-dominant hand, fake, they're going to come back to their strong hand usually. To be prepared for those type of things.
Like, how much do you value your team and what your team brings to the game?
Again, I can only do so much, and my assistant coaches, do a tremendous amount of work, behind the scenes a lot of people don't know about. That, again, take a lot off of me, so I can, break down film. So I can't say enough about, what our assistant coaches do and how valuable they are to the program and to the girls. Again, the girls are going to them a lot of times. So, but then to the players, again, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. Right. And when we recruit them, we talk about these are our goals, but it's going to take hard work. We're going to ask you to do things that other students aren't doing on campus. But hopefully at the end of the day, end of your career, hopefully you're walking out here, hopefully with a national championship, and it'll be something that you'll never forget. There's memories, what you'll never forget. There's bonds, relationships you'll have throughout your life, right. And you should. But valuing them, again, we push them, we yell at them and everything, but I'm so proud of things that they've accomplished.
Okay. So, how hard is it as a coach to let go of like your senior class?
It's tough. It's really tough, especially if you come up short like we did last year. We had, seniors that had won 2 national championships, been in a national championship game the year before that, so they're used to being there, and then to come up short knowing that they're done. Again, I'm coming back. But, it's just, it's heart-wrenching. Just a prime example, after the F&M game, I had a couple of alumni that were in the stands, and they came down, we were talking after the game, and they were like, oh, it killed to be out there. Got goose pimples listening to the national anthem, and, I'll get emails, from people saying, I'm behind my cubicle, wish I was doing sprints this morning, and stuff like that, because, again, real life, and when you look back, say, wow, these are incredible 4 years.
So how would you describe your team this year?
We're going back to our where we used to look with a whole true midfield group, where before these last probably 5 years we're going with really maybe one midfielder, and we've been sprinting people on, sprinting people off. Well, now we've gone back to we feel our middies are good enough on both ends, so we're really getting up and down the field. I'd say this team's a balanced team. I think we're solid defensively. I think we're solid in the midfield, and I think we're solid on offense.
It's a long, stressful season. That I probably know, because I see how long the games go and how far you've been. How did it take toll on your coaching?
Well, knowing when to okay, I got to turn this off and go home, and I got 3 kids and everything. So it is a career that you can easily burn yourself out if you don't have a balance.
And so how does being so dedicated to this sport and in this game, affect everything like at home?
Well, again, knowing when to say when. All my kids do play lacrosse. They play other sports, but they do love lacrosse. So, making sure that I got their games on my calendar. Say, okay, I know I can make that game. I know I can make that game, and still be able to see them, because again, I love watching them play. And trying to give them again the knowledge. And there's high expectations at home. You go outside, work on that non-dominant hand. You go outside. You can only do so much for you.
Right.
Got the ladders for you. If you don't work on speed, there you go. So again, everything is about that the harder you work, you're going to reap those rewards.
How does your wife feel about everything, all your dedication here, and whatnot, and everything you're doing for the school? You know what I'm saying?
It was tough. Again, doing 2 sports, being in season, the kids again weren't so much traveling around, but now they've gotten older. Now we're on travel teams, and at least we were able to split. So in the fall, I am around a lot more, and in the spring, she kind of becomes that single parent where she's taking all different places for travel. And now that my boys are in high school, they're not, on the weekends traveling as far and things like that. So it has, getting them into the high school level has made it a little bit easier. I have twin boys and a daughter that's in 7th grade.
And so they all play lacrosse?
Yes.
Just lacrosse?
No, field hockey, my one plays soccer and lacrosse. Other one does golf and lacrosse.
Okay.
All right, well, good. Appreciate it.
Looking.